Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 99 of Stream with the Mouse, where today we are talking about the season finale of Marvel Studios' What If? What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? Sit back, relax. This is Stream with the Mouse. Welcome on back, everybody, to Stream with the Mouse, where today we are talking about the season finale of Marvel Studios' What If? A really fun, interesting season finale. Joining me as always, he has been chosen, Cliff Robinson. Cliff Robinson, say hello to the nice people.
Take one down, pass it around. 99 podcast episodes of Streaming with the Mouse on the wall. Technically
Have
more.
you been planning that one for a little bit?
Technically more. No, it just kind of popped in my head when you were going over your show notes and you're like, it's episode 99, isn't it? I'm like, oh, I can use that. I know. Well, it's technically like, how many episodes of The Mandalorian season 1 were there? It's 99 plus that, because of our little side spin off when we did a live watch. But pretty good. This was definitely the best way to end the season.
Yeah,
and I know
Sorry, no, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, I know we found out we were supposed to get 10 episodes. The 10th episode was not supposed to be Ultron. It was supposed to be the Gamora and Tony on Sakaar. I'm kind of happy that's in a headline season 2, because now we're like, it leaves us wanting to know like what happened there and what led them to be allies. And it's kind of cool to introduce a very overpowered character and not give the backstory. We're going to find out eventually.
I was really torn on that. I hear what you're saying. I personally thought it was dumb. I thought if you're gonna, just don't have Gamora in this, because it was very confusing. We'll talk about it. The Infinity Crusher was a confusing process, why they specifically had to get the Soul Stone. Some things weren't explained because we didn't get that. So I thought that was a big miss in this episode and a big miss in this finale that we didn't get that. We'll talk about it though. Before we jump into the episode, Cliff, you got some news, so let's hit the news.
Okay, I'll let you pick first. Do you want happy or sad?
Let's go sad and on happy.
Oh, let's go sad. Jeez. So it was confirmed by the What If showrunner that there was actually a plan in place while creating What If to make a Star-Lord T'Challa spin-off show. In animation, and they talked about how they knew Chadwick would have loved it. Obviously, that is not going forward anymore, but they actually had that planned. I'm now sad.
That makes me sad.
I said, sad news.
That makes me sad as well.
But in happier news, we have two things coming to Disney Plus. If you watched today, if you're watching, well, on the day of recording, Black Widow is now free. I'll put in air quotes, you pay for Disney Plus. Black Widow is now free for all users. There's no longer a premium wall blocking your way into getting it. So if you have not seen Black Widow yet, I'd recommend it personally.
You can watch that really, really messed up but really awesome cover of that Nirvana song. So that's pretty cool. It smells like Teen Spirit. I don't know why I forgot that. It's like one of their best songs ever.
Hello.
But yeah, that whole thing is messed up. But it's a great movie. Definitely watch it if you haven't already. I will definitely be rewatching it at some point this weekend, probably.
Maybe. But what I will be watching for sure this weekend is coming out on Friday, so technically tomorrow if you're watching live, October 8th, The Muppets Haunted Mansion will be on Disney Plus.
Must watch TV. Hell yeah.
I am very excited. This is the first Muppets product that's more than that's a special. It's like a movie special in a while. I can't think of the
they
last
had the
one.
show, obviously, that was on Disney Plus, which I thoroughly enjoyed, that little Muppet show that we covered last year. No, but this will be good. Anything Muppets, anything Haunted Mansion. I think I determined that Haunted Mansion is now my new favorite classic ride. I think being away from Disney World for a couple of years, it used to be Pirates of the Caribbean, and then I was like, Pirates doesn't make a whole lot of sense story-wise at some points, but Haunted Mansion definitely does. So I think I'm leaning toward Haunted Mansion as my favorite classic ride now, so now my favorite ride, I guess, combined with the Muppets is really exciting.
I will say I'm very impressed that Disney took two rides, and turned them into very successful. One being a movie in Haunted Mansion, and the other being an incredible, well, now it's a saga, but the trilogy, the original trilogy of Pirates of the Caribbean is like beautiful. It's beautifully done.
Speaking of rides that became movie, saw Jungle Cruise in theaters on Monday night. We had the whole theater to ourselves. Fantastic movie. Really liked it. A
Wow.
lot of like Black Pearl, Curse of the Black Pearl vibes from like the first Pirates of the Caribbean. Obviously different movies, different things, but very enjoyable movie. Must watch when it comes out on Disney Plus for people.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it. That's something that will be there. And I also wanted to, let's see, did I have any other news before I talk about this last thing? I'm not seeing anything. There is the new Anthony Fauci documentary. I don't really watch too many documentaries. I don't even know what it's about other than him. And then other than that,
I saw a great tweet. Let's stop making books. Let's stop making documentaries about the pandemic until we're actually out of this freaking thing. Is that okay?
I don't know if it's about I don't know if it's about the pandemic or just him as a whole. That's like honestly, I didn't pay attention.
He should have busier things to do than making a documentary.
We don't even know don't even know if he's in it.
Oh, he's in it. There's interviews of like him and his daughter and stuff like that. So no, he's definitely in it. I don't know. I'm just help us fix ourselves here, please, God.
But other than that, this is one that I want to just quickly mention. If you are a R.L. Stine fan, if you're a Halloween fan, there was a new TV show coming out called Just Beyond, and I want to talk about it. It's a supernatural comedy anthology coming to Disney Plus October 13th. I didn't even see it on the original Disney Plus Twitter. It was like a promoted tweet to me. And the concept of it is Just Beyond is an upcoming American horror anthology series created by Seth Grahame-Smith based on Boom Studios' graphic novel of the same name by R.L. Stine on Disney Plus.
I was a big Goosebumps fan, so I'll check it out.
I was too, and I thought they did a good job making the 2 new Goosebumps movies. I thought Jack Black was fun in them. Really cool. R.L. Stine's obviously great, like kids horror. Very much just.
Did you have a favorite R.L. Stine Goosebumps book?
I mean, I can go with The Mask. That's always a. That's a classic one.
That was a good.
That's a good one. That one scared me a little bit.
Yeah, it did. Me too.
The puppet scared me a little too much too.
What was that? It's not Chucky. What's it? Slappy?
Slappy.
Yeah, that Slappy scared the bejesus out of me.
So yeah, I think this is going to be cool. It seems really weird, and I think for Halloween that's going to be really cool. People know we're obviously located in New England. They're actually filming the next Hocus Pocus movie in Rhode Island, literally right down the highway from us. That's pretty cool. And the last thing I'll talk about, because I don't know if Cam's seen this or not, there's almost a confirmed, we know in the Hawkeye show, we're getting a character named Echo. Echo is a character, she's a deaf Native American character who's part of like the Hawkeye gang. Rumor has it, and speculation, we in air quotes don't do speculation, she is getting her own spin-off show, and supposedly we're getting the return of why can't I remember his name, Daredevil in that show.
We've also heard that we were going to potentially get Daredevil in Spider-Man. So
no, we were told we were going to get is it Matthew Murdock? Everything I've seen is said we're getting Matthew Murdock as a lawyer and not Daredevil, but that's how they're reintroducing him.
Same thing, Cliff.
I want the actual costume. If you just have him as a lawyer, cool.
I'll just take Charlie Cox. Just let me see Charlie Cox, because that means that they're going to do something with him, and that will make me happy. Yeah. Is that it for news?
That's it for news.
All right, let's jump into it. The season finale of What If. Cliff, how did you like the season finale?
It was good. It was what I thought it did a good job wrapping up the story of season 1. Whether or not, if we ignore Gamora's thing, I thought it did a really good job, and it zigged when it zagged. It zigged when you thought it was going to zag. It did a good job subverting expectations in a good way. It did a good job to me thinking, oh, good, it's the end. But then I checked the time. I'm like, why is there still 12 minutes left? And then it was a good zig and zag to get to the end.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it was a good wrap up for season 1, minus the Gamora. I really do have an issue with that, and I get why. It was because of the pandemic. that they shortened the season, but I just thought that was like a big story point that was just missing, and it was tough to follow with what was happening. I mean, at the end, you piece together like, okay, the machine is powered by the Soul Stone again. We'll talk about it soon, but I don't know. That really rubbed me the wrong way, especially that moment where, like, we'll talk about it. Okay, cool. Opening scene. We get multiple opening scenes basically where the Watcher is forming what he will then lovingly refer to as the Guardians of the Multiverse. An awesome name, one of the best team names in
I'm
Marvel.
glad I was right. I'm glad I was right when I
yeah.
said that.
So the Watcher goes along to all these different universes and plucks out these characters from their universe. So he plucks out T'Challa in his universe fighting Ego. He plucks out Gamora, who is destroying the Infinity Gauntlet with Iron Man. Iron Man's actually alive in this, which is nice. And they have like a nice little funny quip where the Watcher says, like, I'm not here for you, Stark, or something like that. I'm here for Gamora. Iron Man is in like this Hulkbuster like kind of armor that we know from the Lego set is from Sakaar. So there's a Lego set with Tony in this Iron Man suit, but we don't actually get to see it really besides this one quick thing. He picks up Thor, who's in Vegas, just killing a bunch of Sentinels at that point. Peggy is basically, again, recreating the next Captain America movie. She's doing the heist scene from Winter Soldier where she goes faces Batroc the Leaper. She gets picked out from there. Strange gets picked out from his little pocket dimension thingy, and he picks up Killmonger in Wakanda as Peggy and Shuri are like basically gonna like rush him right now because of all the things he's been doing to Wakanda in his episode. They picked him out. They're not the universe's only hope, the multiverse's only help. Only like hope, excuse me, not help. But Cliff, what do you think of the team? What do you think about this multiple scenes cutting of getting the Guardians of the Multiverse together?
I felt like that gorilla meme, the like wear something. It was like wear Spider-Man. They did our boy Zombie Hunter Spider-Man dirty. I was very surprised they took Killmonger. I was like, that's weird. I'm like, it just must be something that the Watcher knows that we don't. So we'll wait and see. Other than that, cool team. Kind of fun to see the relationship between Peggy and Black Widow. I liked that. And it was fun. Like, it's cool to see like how it really wouldn't change because of how similar Peggy and Steve are as as the Captain America mantle. So it was a really funny way. Thor's reaction to getting picked up was hilarious, and they did spoil that yesterday as like the opening of the show.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was super fun. I thought this team is cool. I love things we get to see with like not our like known team, I guess, kind of thing. Like, I really liked the T'Challa Heist episode because there was a bunch of people working together that you wouldn't have expected to work together. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like things like that, and I think that was what was so awesome about Infinity War is you split up the Avengers after the events of Civil War, and you have these smaller little teams of characters who have never interacted between like Iron Man with some of the Guardians, and then you got Captain America with like Black Panther and stuff like that. I thought it was really special. And really cool to see. So together, the Watcher says, "Listen, you're the multiverse's only hope. We got to do this." Their plan, once they've all agreed, "Yep, we're going to save the multiverse," is that they're going to use Gamora's Infinity Crusher, which did not really get explained in this episode, besides the fact they can destroy the Infinity Stones. For some reason, it seems like the Soul Stone can power it up. So specifically, they have to steal the Soul Stone, then use the Infinity Crusher. They're going to crush the Infinity Stones and destroy. I almost said Thanos, but destroy Ultron in this universe, who's just causing mass chaos across the multiverse. What do you think of their plan? Again, I was very confused with the Soul Crusher, or the Infinity Crusher. I know that's a kind of a small thing to get hung up on, but I think the way Marvel has done storytelling for these 10 plus years, I think that's what's hanging me up on it, is that they let that just like, it's a plot hole essentially, because it's like, what are we missing here?
Yeah, in my mind, people have to realize that when I watch these episodes, it's like 6 a.m. So in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. that's good. Like watching with like one eye open, so because the light is too bright on the iPad. But I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's cool. And like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I know for a fact we're getting season 2 episode 1 is that Gamora story. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. We kind of get this cool black box, like this mulligan out of left field, like, oh, it's gonna destroy all the Infinity Stones. Cool. Seems cool to me. I didn't get why they needed the Soul Stone specifically, and then when it started working, I did. But yeah, just like cool.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that in action, because it seems like Gamora and Tony have already used that before, especially where they were melting down the Infinity Gauntlet in their little opening thing too. So I know we're gonna probably get it in season 2. It would have made more sense, obviously, to have it in season 1, but I get it.
You're like Anakin. I want more, and I know I shouldn't.
Let's talk about the battle. We're not going to talk about it in full. The battle was badass. It was awesome. You have the swarm of Mjolnirs that were coming to attack Ultron. That was Thor using Mjolnir, and then Doctor Strange being a badass, like creating all these multiple Mjolnirs with his spells. You have a zombie attack where you have Wanda, attacking Ultron. You have the cool protection spell. I thought that was beautiful animation for the way that Doctor Strange used the protection spell to protect the Guardians of the Multiverse. I thought it looked sick. Your thoughts on the battle? There was a lot of really cool parts in this first part of the battle here.
I was expecting more Ultrons. I wasn't expecting just Ultron.
Yeah.
They like held their own and didn't at the same time. It was really just like I don't want to spoil the end, but Doctor Strange was by far more powerful than everyone else combined.
Yes.
Absolutely no. The only issue is he doesn't always have full control over his power.
And what was cool is it's such a dark power, but he's doing such a noble thing. So it's really that cool like contrast of his character. And I think that's been him learning, like, oh, I really messed up by like ruining my whole universe. I killed my whole universe. But I thought, he definitely MVP of the battle. This battle does not get won without Doctor Strange between the protection spell. He's the one that opens up the portal for the zombie attack. He's the one that creates the multiple Mjolnirs that just form like a ball around Ultron. Really cool. Some little vibes to the battle on Titan between like Doctor Strange and Iron Man against Thanos with Guardians. You have like even T'Challa going up on Ultron's shoulders with like the blasters that kind of remind me of Mantis going up on Thanos's shoulders to use that spell. Pretty cool battle. Any other thoughts on this?
No, just a really cool battle. It's exactly what you can do in animation that they can't actually do in live action, and that's partially why this show I think exists.
Yeah, for sure. A big part of this battle, too, is that they are able to get the Soul Stone. T'Challa swipes it off of Ultron, which makes sense given the storyline we had in his episode of when he was Star-Lord, because he's a thief, but good kind of thing. He has sleight of hand.
He's a Robin Hood.
Yes, he was able to steal it, and they were able to go to Ultron's home universe. They have the stone, where Ultron comes back. Ultron's very angry because he's just been attacked by a bunch of Mjolnirs. He's just been attacked by zombie Wanda, a bunch of other zombies, and he didn't even realize, hey, I don't have the Soul Stone. He just goes to try to crush him, and he goes, oh, wait, hold on, I only have 5 out of the 6 right now. So there's have another little battle here where it's literally like capture the flag, but with the Soul Stone where it keeps getting dropped. It's like kind of that trope where you have the most important item that keeps getting dropped and picked up by the other guy, then this person picks it up, things like that. But pretty fun little scene here, I guess. Eventually, they do get the Soul Stone. They pin Ultron down. Gamora uses the Soul Stone to power up the Infinity Crusher and puts it down on Ultron's chest, kind of like a mini lawnmower, and goes to crush the stones. And we've learned they cannot be crushed because in this is, I think, is a big takeaway from this episode, because I'm interested to see how this affects other things, because I felt like they didn't really harp on this, but I think they pointed it out enough where it was like, hey, this could be a selling point for future things, I guess. Some things can only work in your universe. In this case, Gamora's Infinity Crusher can't crush the Infinity Stones here because they're not the same Infinity Stones as the one on her universe that she crushed. So they can't be crushed. Again, I thought that was a little cheap. I personally felt like it was a little lazy, as like that's the reason they couldn't win, was like, oh, the Crusher doesn't work in this universe. But I could see it having bigger things down the road in the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if that makes sense.
Yes, I think it does a good job saying they're all the same, but they're different at the same time. Like, they're made up of different things. Like, those stones can only be destroyed but in a certain way. Like, if the Gamora from that universe created that, they'd be able to destroy them. But they weren't in said universe.
But you know what I think is frustrating with that is, like, they can be used in other universes, but they can't be destroyed in that universe. Like, Ultron was using them in tons of multiverses, and that's why I thought it was, like, a little lazy, personally. And I think this is one of the first times I've actually been like, ooh, a little critical of Marvel on this podcast. So mark the date. The day we're recording this, October, what is it, the 8th? October 8th,
October 6th. October 6th.
Oh, I'm looking at my September calendar, and Wednesday's 8th. Sorry. October 6th, 2021. Cameron's being a little critical of Marvel here. You're welcome, everybody.
Hell has frozen over.
I personally thought it was a little lazy, but it is what it is. Because we are in Ultron's home universe, that means there's one sole survivor in this whole universe. It is Black Widow from the episode where we saw where Ultron just ran everything to the ground, basically. She's kind of thinks that these Guardians of the Multiverse are on Ultron's side. Peggy is somehow able, this is another little gripe I have, Peggy convinces her, like, hey, no, like, we're on your side. Like, in my universe, you're my best friend. And Black Widow was like, okay. And again, too quick. I don't want to be a hater. I like this episode a lot. I think I even told Cliff this morning when I texted him I loved it, and I do. I love Marvel, but I was like, that's how Black Widow, who's one of the best assassins ever, like, that was her way of doing it. Like, okay, Peggy, you knew my parents' name, and you know I trust 3 people, and one of them's me, but on my universe, so why does that mean you can... I don't know. I thought that was, again, dumb, but whatever.
It's okay.
I don't know. That was something I was like, what is that?
I mean, I don't know. I can see where you're coming from. And I think it might be that people give the benefit of the doubt to animation, where it's like, oh, it's more for kids. This is where you get trapped in the, like, it's for kids. You have to make it easy. But someone like Natasha might not trust right away, but understands that we're trying to destroy the thing that literally ruined your entire universe. We can help you.
I think that's what they should have played off more. Like, they should have done the sub stories like Thor. Ultron ran havoc on my...
But also,
like, I know what you're going.
But Natasha knew who Steve was, and she knew who Peggy was as well. So in her mind, Natasha's not dumb. She's smart enough to kind of figure out, like, something's wrong here, but it makes sense. Like, it doesn't make sense, but I understand that this is pretty much the equivalent to what my Captain America was to me, who was close enough.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's not something I'm not mad about it. It's just something I was like, that could have been done differently. Black Widow ends up joining the Guardians of the Multiverse, able to help them out. When the Infinity Crusher doesn't help out, she thinks back to that one last arrow. I'm going to call it the Zola arrow that Hawkeye had, that had the information from the Hydra base with Arnim Zola's AI, basically. She thinks back to that, and her and Peggy come up with this plan where, Peggy, you're going to just rip off Ultron's helmet, basically, and I'm going to shoot this arrow into his eye socket, and they do that. It looked beautiful, animated. Black Widow had that little line, like, I think she said, like, this is for you or something like that, meaning Hawkeye, because Hawkeye sacrificed himself in this episode, just like she did in our Marvel Cinematic Universe, excuse me. And that's how they're able to defeat Hawkeye. They put the AI of Zola in not how they defeat Hawkeye, I'm so sorry. How they defeat Ultron. They're able to put that AI. There's a really cool scene where the AI of Ultron is talking to the AI of Zola, and I thought that was awesome. And basically, Zola destroys him from the inside. Your thoughts on this? And then obviously, bigger things happen, but your thoughts on this?
The definition of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's a great way for that to happen. And the short-lived, obviously, but a really cool way for it to do it, because that's kind of like a fun Deus Ex Machina where we know about it, but we kind of forget about it at the same time.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, let's call a spade. I didn't know how well this plan was going to work, because Zola's still a Hydra AI kind of thing, and as the new controlling body of Ultron, Zola wants the Infinity Stones, who does not have it because they were taken from them, and now they're possessed by one of the members of the Guardians of the Multiverse, Killmonger, because he's able to use the AI technology or the artificial intelligence that Thor brought into that world, that century like kind of robot thing, and he's able to take the Infinity Stones for himself. He tries convincing the Guardians of the Multiverse, like, Peggy, like, you can have your love back, like, Stephen Strange, we can do this, like, everybody can have their happy ending kind of thing if he has the stones. They say, no, Killmonger, as they should, because Killmonger is definitely going to double-cross them, because he is not a hero in this universe, or in his own universe.
He's not even an anti-hero, he's just a straight-up villain. He's a murderer.
And then we get this battle between Zola and Killmonger that looks like it's going to destroy this universe, going to destroy the Guardians because of how powerful it is. But luckily, Stephen Strange and the Watcher are able to step up. The Watcher, he's already broken his oath at this point, but now he's really getting involved, where he uses his powers with Stephen Strange's powers to create a pocket dimension where Killmonger and Zola Ultron live forever in this battle, but self-contained from saving the world. What do you think of this? I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked that Zola was bad still. Like, he turned on them. Like, yeah, I guess you gave me this body, but, like, I still want these stones now.
This was the perfect way to end it.
Yes.
Because it showed, and it's like, it's just something like people that are always searching for power. It's always always an endless deadlock. It's poetic justice in the same way Garrett Whitlock got to eliminate the Yankees from playoff contention. It's just something that's just beautiful in itself. Zola is the epitome of someone in Hydra, which is always searching to be the complete power in the world. And Killmonger is someone that is so bent on what his goals are and what his end goal is, he'll do anything to achieve that. And like they said, like T'Challa said in his episode, it'll always catch up to you on your plane or on mine. And it finally caught up to him. His power, both of their power and their greed, left them in this endless battle that will never achieve anything. There will always be this perfect stuck moment for them that symbolizes everything they are.
I really like how you describe that, Cliff. No, that's perfect. The Days won. The Guardians of the Multiverse have won. The Watcher sends them off on their merry ways. Stephen Strange goes back to his non-reality, which I thought was a little messed up. Like, you could have helped Stephen Strange.
I almost think he wanted that, though,
because of like a self-punishment kind of a thing.
I think it's his own self-isolation.
Yeah.
But now he has a purpose.
He has some friends. He brought the pocket universe of Zola and Killmonger, and he has to watch over them. And his job
he's the Watcher.
He's the Watcher for that little pocket universe, and his job is not let them escape and wreak havoc across the multiverse. The other characters really go. Peggy's a little hesitant to go. She would love her happy ending. The Watcher kind of says, like, hey, Peggy, like, your universe needs Captain Carter more than this kind of thing. And Peggy recognizes her duty, puts her feelings aside for Steve and wanting to get her happy ending with him if she could be sent back to the universe, and goes back to that moment, essentially. Black Widow, on the other hand, a little more troublesome, because Black Widow, if she goes back to her universe, she has nothing. She was all by herself. The only thing she really had going for her were these, like, Ultron robot kind of things, so she really had nothing. The Watcher does help her out a little bit, and is able to put her in a universe that has already lost their Black Widow, and she gets accepted by, I almost said Sam Wilson.
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, excuse me. I think I was thinking Samuel Jackson, but she's able to be accepted as the new Black Widow of this universe's Avengers team by Nick Fury, so she gets a purpose, she gets her family again, she's excited to help out, she's not by herself in that universe that was destroyed by Ultron.
My question for you, is that the universe we saw in What If All the Avengers Died? Because it was Captain Marvel, it was Nick Fury.
Captain America. Well, Captain America was there too.
Did Cap die in that episode?
I believe he did. Yes, he definitely did. So it's not that universe.
How did he die in that?
That would have made sense to put her in there, though, huh?
Did he die in that episode?
Yeah, he 100% died. He definitely died.
How?
I guess that's the only episode that wasn't really...
It's been so long.
Brought in. Yeah,
because it makes sense because it was them fighting Loki, too. Like, it made a ton of sense. It was a different version of a war against Loki. I need to look now, because I'm sitting here like...
wait, hold on. No. You are very right. That's absolutely...
Because they didn't find Cap. They found Cap at the end of it. So it is that episode. It's that universe of what if the world lost its mightiest heroes.
Okay, so all of them got use that. Okay, totally forgot about that episode. Sorry, it was a very forgettable episode. But that's the episode. We do get a post credit scene. We'll talk about it. Your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about the post credit scene, mid credit scene at the end.
Yeah, there's no mid credit scene. I'm happy with the way it ended. I think it did a good job. What if is bold? What if is a bold thing to create? If we're being honest, it's not like the riskiest thing you can do. Like I'd say Ant-Man was a bigger risk than what if. But it was something that you can't just do one-offs. Everything needs to be connected in some way, even if it's a multiverse. Season 1 did that.
Yeah.
In the way that now season 2, it could be completely random. Nothing could coincide with each other, and it'd be fine because we've already been given the story. That's to me like now they did a very like tame. They did a very tame thing. I think some of them were tests. Like, I think Marvel Zombies was a test for a live-action movie, if we're being honest. And I think it got the results that might have pushed for it. It got you ready. Like, oh, Hawkeye, that was really cool. Like, they made Hawkeye a really cool guy in this again because his show's coming out in a couple weeks. And it kind of showed a parallel to him sacrificing himself for Nat. But now, go as crazy as you want. Have a field day. Like, just go for it. Do whatever you want. No one will care at this point because we got the story and now we know what to expect to a certain level and you can go crazier.
Yeah, I think that's a good way. I mean, obviously I care, and I think they will still have a
I
story
do care. I'm saying
but,
you've taken the risk by having the show happen. There's no risk to it anymore. Just go. Just take it.
And it was very well received. No, I love this episode. I love the show. Obviously, I did have my gripes with this episode a little bit, and I definitely had my gripes with the what if all the Avengers were killed kind of thing. But for the most part, the show was A+ stuff. Let's get to the mid-credit scene, which could set up a storyline. We already know one of the storylines next year. It was actually confirmed today. Will be the Iron Man and Sakaar episode that we didn't get in this season. We just got that brief hint of it in this episode. Where you see that Hulkbuster-ish armor. We have already seen the Lego set for next year. But in the post-credit scene, when the Watcher sends everybody to their universes, they go back to the same moment that they were in. So in Peggy's case, she was in the middle of a fight with Batroc the Leaper. She gets rescued by her version of Black Widow. She's all excited. She's like, oh my god, you don't know how much I missed you. Black Widow discovers, hey, this is why these people were here. They find the Hydra Stomper, and somebody's inside the Hydra Stomper, and Peggy's very happy, and it goes to black. We can assume, and I'm going to very much assume, that it is Steve Rogers inside, however, in some sort of Winter Soldier-ish program, because that would line up with how Peggy Carter's storyline in this show went, where it's basically following Steve Rogers. Steve gets his best friend back, but it's Bucky as the Winter Soldier. I'm assuming we're going to have an evil Steve Rogers here that she's going to have to change or reform.
I don't know. I almost took that as the Watcher gave that to Peggy as a gift.
Oh, no, I did not.
I don't know. That's how I saw it. I saw it as like, oh, the Watcher is giving a gift to Peggy because she may be alone. She may be like, she has to do this. She has to stay and go through Winter Soldiers. Like, she has to stop Hydra. Because it could still be Bucky. It could still be Bucky as the Winter Soldier. Who knows? But we'll see. I don't know. I took it as the Watcher said, you have to do this, but you no longer have to do it alone. That's how I saw it. I might be way too optimistic then.
Yeah, I think you are, because I don't think the Watcher does gifts like that. I think he gave the gift of Black Widow, like putting her in a different universe, but I don't think he can. He will. I don't think he'll get involved with the multiverse that much. I think that was truly what was happening, and it just makes too much sense for it to set up a Winter Soldier-esque scenario, but with Steve as Hydra Stomper turned evil and brainwashed. I think it just makes too much sense. Whether or not they explore that storyline in season 2, I don't know.
Imagine if they gave him the serum and he's like buff Steve Rogers too. Because remember how she was like, how does he look? And she was like, it's a buff Steve Rogers. And she's like, I'd love to see that. So that'd be also kind of cool. So yeah, we'll see.
It'd be cool if they just didn't bring it up again, because then it's like, oh, you can imagine what happened next. But also, I think they're very much going to tell that story, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
but
for
that's
sure.
It. That's What If season 1. Cliff, any thoughts on this show? And then I'll share mine, and we'll get out of here.
It was good. but more so, I'm ready for Hawkeye. I am ready for live action. I'm personally, I was. This is how my mind works. Obviously, we have Halloween and Thanksgiving coming up, which Halloween's always fun. Thanksgiving, you get the food, but in my mind, I was already starting to think. I'm like, huh, when can I play the first Michael Bublé album this year?
Oh,
So
jeez.
I am ready for Christmas at this point. So we will see. But it was a good season. I wish they were longer, and I wish the season was shorter. I think that's my those will be
Okay.
my two things.
Yeah, I think I would have agreed with that, but then I think everything really came together in this like season finale that I'm okay with the length. I actually wish it was a little longer because I would have really wanted that Gamora storyline, or I wish you cut
Mm.
Gamora out completely in this storyline if that's the case. But no, love the show. Absolutely had fun. Even the episodes I didn't really care for, like the Avengers dying one, the zombie one was fine for what it was. I'm just not a big zombie guy. I still had a lot of fun. Fun little half hour each week where I get a new Marvel story. I'm all in for whether I love them or just like them, like I like some of these episodes. But no, very fun show. Excited for season two. And excited to talk about season two eventually. Next week we will be doing a Halloween episode, so we'll have that coming out very soon. So get excited for that. And then hopefully very soon we, like you said, Cliff, we will have Hawkeye. We're gonna get um, we're gonna get Book of Boba Fett in December. It's gonna be a lot of good stuff. But Cliff, if people want to talk about What If with you, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at CP Robinson 81, and Cam, take it away.
You can find me at Cam Ramos95 on Twitter. You can find the podcast at Twitter at Stream the Mouse. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Streaming with the Mouse. You can find us on our website, cprob.com/Stream the Mouse. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube if you type in Streaming with the Mouse. Be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, all the above to our podcast. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, please. And yeah, and we hope to talk to you guys very soon. Like I said, we're going to do a Halloween episode. Definitely going to talk and hit on Haunted Mansion Muppets in that episode. A lot of fun stuff coming up. So thanks everybody for listening. We hope you have a magical day, and Avengers Disassemble.
See you later.